I'm not threatening you. Say one more word, and that's 30 days. 30 days.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Sovereign Citizens Hall of Fame with your man TP. Today, we will be courtroom hopping into the courtroom of Judge Victoria Shackleford for the second appearance of a sovereign citizen by the name of Randall Crain. If you have not seen Randall Crain's first appearance before Judge Michael Chungin, no worries. That will be added into this video also. So I will add his first appearance before Judge Chungin, and then we will jump into his second appearance before Judge Shackleford, which happened a couple days ago. What I am also going to do is I'm only going to do commentary on the second appearance, which is the most recent appearance since I've done commentary on that first one. But I just want to say I appreciate you guys for joining me here on Sovereign Citizens Hall of Fame. If you saw that first appearance, he definitely went a little while at the end. I don't want to give it up for anybody, but just check out that first appearance. If you've seen it before, you know chapters will be added where you can just jump into this recent appearance. But with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and jump into these two proceedings.
All right. Good morning. I'm Judge Chungin. We are here on people of the city of Taylor versus Randall Crain. Good morning. I see Mr. Crain up on screen. Sir, I believe you are muted. If you could unmute, please. There we go. Good morning, sir. Would you state your name, please?
My name is Randall Timothy Crain.
Good morning, Mr. Crain. And on behalf of defendant, today we have, please.
James Kazicki. I'm the House Counsel. I spoke with Mr. Crain. Had a breakdown in communications. I don't believe I can go forward representing him. We do not support the same theory of law.
Mr. Crain, sir, you do have the right to have a court-appointed attorney. Do you wish to have a court-appointed attorney, or are you going to represent yourself at this time? You could change your mind later on, but at this stage, sir, are you representing yourself?
Sir, me and the House Counsel do not agree on a bunch of things.
I understand that. My question is, all you're here for today is I'm going to actually give you the formal arraignment and conduct a pretrial. All I'm wondering, sir, is are you going to represent yourself at this limited proceeding? That's all, sir.
I would like to have a assistance.
Okay, all right, but at this time, we do not have other counsel. But what I am going to do is what we call an arraignment. All arraignment, sir, is just a formal reading of the charges that are lodged against you. That's all it is, and I explained that the rights that you have.
Well, I understand my rights.
Hold on just a minute, please. Hold on just a minute. I want to make sure I have the complete file. Mr. Kazicki, maybe you can offer a little assistance, sir. Okay, no, I've got it. So, for the record, Mr. Crain, you're here for an arraignment. As I explained, sir, arraignment is that initial stage of the criminal proceedings, or simply put, you're advised of the charges that are now formally lodged against you. I'm going to advise you of the rights that you have. You plead, after I'm done with that, then you plead guilty or not guilty. After that, sir, the next stage is something called a pre-trial conference. That's where you, if you're representing yourself, or you with your court-appointed attorney, you sit down with the prosecutor and discuss the merits of the case. Okay, sir. So in this matter, you are charged on the complaint of Taylor PD Officer Schillenberg, who states that on March 26th, while in the City of Taylor, that you obstructed the officer from performing his lawful duties, specifically with respect to the stop on where he claims he observed you operating electronic device. Now, a misdemeanor charge in the state of Michigan. It's a criminal offense. It subjects you potentially to be 0 days in jail up to 90 days. Fines could be 0 up to 500. You could be placed on probation also for a period of up to 2 years. Of course, you have the right to have an attorney to represent you. If you can't afford one, one could be appointed. Of course, you start out with the presumption of innocence. You close with that presumption all the way through, unless and until the jury finds out or a judge rules the other way. Now, of course, you have the right to have a trial. The trial could be heard by a jury or a judge. At trial, sir, you and your attorney have the right to cross-examine all of the prosecution's witnesses. You could bring in witnesses that would testify on your behalf, and you could testify or not testify as you see fit. If you choose to remain silent, it can never be held against you. For example, prosecutor could never tell the jury that, oh, you must be guilty because you didn't testify. We don't allow that, sir. The people have to prove you're guilty, your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, having heard that charge, how do you plead to the charge of obstructing the officer? All right, I'm going to note that the defendant stands mute. Has the same effect, sir, as you pleading not guilty. Now, sir, you are going to have I need you to write this down, please. You will have a pre-trial conference. So you're going to meet with an attorney here in the court. You write this date down, July 16th at 9 a.m. It's an in-person pre-trial conference. Furthermore, sir, we're going to mail a notice of that date to the address that's listed on your ticket. Not going to state the address now because this could go out for further public consumption. Not going to do that. But note, sir, July 16th, 9 a.m. All right. And at this time, I'm going to release you on a personal bond. You don't have to post cash. That's your word that you're going to come back on the July 16th date at 9 a.m. All right, sir. Now, I also want to inform you, we have a couple of other charges. They're called civil infractions. One has to do with no proof of insurance and no registration. Sir, these being civil infractions, you can't be sent to jail for these. They're simply not criminal offenses. All right. You'd be fined up to $100 on each of those, but you can't be sent to jail. Just for your information, they are accompanying charges. So again, sir, today, you've stood mute. I'm going to note you're requesting appointed counsel. I'm also noting for the record, you had spoken with Mr. Kazicki and he's not able to represent you any further. And lastly, again, you're on a personal bond. That's your word that you're going to come back on that July 16th date. Understood, sir?
No, I do not understand.
Pardon me, sir?
No, I do not understand.
Well, I'll explain it again. You come back on July 16th in court for a pre-trial conference. You meet with the attorney who will meet with the prosecutor. That's when they discuss the merits of the case. And right now, I've released you on a personal bond. You don't have to come to the courthouse and post any money. It's your word that you're coming back on that date. I've notified you here on the record of the court date, and further, you'll be mailed a notice.
Yes, Your Honor, I understand that part, but what I don't understand is I don't understand the jurisdiction that the court has over me.
Sir, you're going to be able to discuss that at a later date. This was just to advise you of the charges formally lodged.
Well, I would also like to advise the court that every day that I am in court, I require $1,400, and I will be charging the court $1,400 for my time.
Sir, you can do as you see fit on that count. I'm just apprising you of your court dates. And with that, you're free to leave the meeting, sir. Thank you.
All right, this is 2509380M, the People versus Randall Crain. We ready on Randall Crain? Mr. Crane's coming up. Hey, you, Mr. Kazicki?
No.
Mr. Crain, do you have counsel? Was that you, Mr. Barron?
Your Honor, Todd Barrett, I did speak with Mr. Crain prior to the court calling the case today. I think that at this time, Mr. Crain's probably best served proceeding is on his own. There are some constitutional arguments that he's raising that I don't think as a member of the bar I can.
Oh, is he a sovereign citizen?
He's making some sovereign arguments, yes.
Okay, I have very little patience for them. I will let you know that, sir. So, okay, tell me your name.
My name is Randall Crain. That's a living name, not a corporate fiction.
So you're a real person named Randall
I'm a real
Crain.
person. Okay.
Okay, no, listen to me. Sir, you're here today because you have some charges against you. All right.
I'm challenging the court's jurisdiction.
Okay, well, denied. Your motion's denied. I have jurisdiction to the Constitution of the state of Michigan. What's your next? I'm not arguing with you, sir. I have jurisdiction. So
You have to provide subject matter jurisdiction as well as personal jurisdiction to me before these can proceed.
okay, your motion's denied. I have jurisdiction under the Constitution of the state of Michigan. What else? What else?
You do not have jurisdiction over the national.
I just said I did.
No, you don't.
All right. All right.
Okay.
So, sir, do you want to proceed on these cases and talk to the prosecutor? Don't look on your phone while you're talking to me. If you
My notes are on.
No, you listen to me. If you don't know your sovereign citizen arguments well enough to come up here and say them, I can tell you can't have I can tell you can't have a phone in here. I want you to listen to me. You're here today on misdemeanor charges. No talking. You're brought into court. You've already been arraigned. You have a charge of interfering with police officers in the while they're doing official business. That's a misdemeanor, punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. You also have a civil infraction for operating using a mobile electronic device, first offense while operating a motor vehicle, a charge of no proof of insurance. Those are both civil infractions. Civil infraction for no proof of or no registration in a motor vehicle. So those are the charges against you, sir. I'm going to tell you the rights that are actually real rights that you have in this court. You have a right to an attorney appointed at public expense if you are indigent without money to hire an attorney, and if the offense charge requires a minimum jail sentence or the court determines that it might sentence you to jail. The appointing authority will decide if you are indigent and appoint counsel if you are eligible. You may have to repay the expense for an appointed attorney. You may contest your ability to pay the ordered fees if the court attempts to collect any cost for an attorney, and the court must determine your ability to pay at that time. If you have a trial, you have the following rights. You have a right to, this is how trials work. You have a right to call witnesses to speak for you at trial, and you can get an order signed by the court to require witnesses to come to court. You have a right to see, hear, and question all witnesses against you at trial. You have a right to be a witness for yourself or to remain silent. If you chose not to be a witness on your own behalf, the prosecutor could not comment on your refusal to testify. Lastly, you have a right to be presumed innocent unless you are proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. If you enter a plea, obviously you'd be waiving those rights. You also have a right to be released on bond. Now, it looks like you previously stood mute on these charges, so you're here today for a pretrial. You have a few options, sir, under the law of the United States, the Constitution of the state of Michigan, and statutory law and court rules in the state of Michigan. You can either retain your own attorney to proceed on this case, or you can have a pretrial with the prosecutor directly and try and work out an agreement, or we can set it for a jury trial, okay? Those are your options. You can get an attorney, use a court appointed attorney, but you understand that attorneys have an obligation to follow the law and not make frivolous arguments, which is what you want to make today. And if an attorney makes those arguments on your behalf, I could sanction them. So no attorney on this green earth is going to come in and make the frivolous arguments you're making on your behalf. Or you can speak to the prosecutor, or we can just set it for a jury trial. Out of those, I don't want to hear it. I want you to pick out of those 4 options what you want to do. Hire an attorney, speak with court appointed attorney, talk directly to the prosecutor to work towards a resolution, or set a jury trial. Pick.
Let me ask you a question.
No, I asked you a question and I'm telling you to answer it.
And I have the right to understand my rights and understanding.
Sir, here, can you hand him this form? These are your constitutional rights I just read to you. Why don't you have a seat? You have a seat, read your rights, and I'll call your case back up.
I am asking for you.
Have a seat right now and read your rights.
Office.
Have a seat.
Have a seat right now and read your rights, sir. If you don't understand them, read them.
I move for this court to dismiss.
Have a seat.
Okay, next case. All right, we're coming back up. This is 2509380M, the City of Taylor versus Randall Crain. Mr. Crain, you want to come back up? Mr. Crain, did you have a chance to go over your constitutional rights that I provided to you?
Yes, I understand my constitutional rights.
Okay, thank you, sir. So at this time, I gave you 4 options. Would you like to retain your own attorney? Would you like to speak with House counsel and have an appointed attorney? Would you like to meet directly with the prosecutor? Or would you like to set the matter for jury trial?
I'm going to be requesting for an order of change of venue.
Denied. Anything else? There's no basis for that, sir. So I'm asking you, we'll just set it for a jury trial, okay?
I have to understand everything in regards to my case.
Sir, I gave you your constitutional rights so that you could review them. I also gave you the attorney, a court-appointed attorney to go over those rights with. So I gave you an opportunity to understand your rights. I'm not going to entertain, listen, I'm not entertaining your sovereign citizen arguments because they're unfounded and they're not legal. There's no legal basis for them. So I'm not doing it. So now I'm asking you, out of the 4 choices I gave you, which one would you like to do?
I am required to understand everything in regards to my case,
Okay.
including subject jurisdiction matters.
All right, well, you could do your
personal
research. I'm
jurisdiction.
setting this for a jury trial. We'll see you back for your jury trial on November 14th of 2025 at 9:00 a.m. I really recommend you retain an attorney prior to that date, sir, because I know I'm going to tell you what you're not going to do: waste the citizens of Taylor's time with your nonsensical arguments. You're going to come in, you're going to try your case. Again, if you want to talk to House counsel, you could do so. All
I'm
right.
not wasting the city of Taylor's time.
Okay, good. We'll
Okay.
see you on your trial date. Have a good day.
Well, guys, we've come to the end of both of these proceedings. Not going to say much on the first one since I've already talked about that. But as we can see in Mr. Crain's second appearance, his most recent appearance before Judge Shackleford, his attorney says, listen, we're not going to be able to do this. It's not going to happen. We have different views. I'm not going to, put anything before the court that the court is not willing to accept or that can get me in trouble. So they decided to part ways. But as we can see here in the second appearance, Mr. Crain tried to be a little bit more aggressive than he was that first time. But Judge Shackleford, being the veteran that she is, pretty much shut him down, gave him his constitutional rights so he could look it over, shut him down for a minute. He tried to come back and get on the same stuff. She wasn't trying to entertain it. It's going to be interesting and seeing how his next appearance goes, especially with him representing himself and especially with the ideology that he has and, all of the arguments that he wants to make. And we see some of his motions got shut down. So it is what it is. Not much to say on this one. I mean, you saw it for yourself. And with that being said, I am looking forward to seeing his next appearance. As always, I appreciate you guys for joining me. This is Sovereign Citizens Hall of Fame, guys. And until the next time we get together, guys, for now, Sovereign Citizens Court is adjourned. I appreciate you guys. See you guys soon, and God bless.